How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Had to cut the intro a little bit early there. Do apologize about that, though. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video, guys. Today, we've got a lot of rumors. So, we got a chunk of videos coming our way. As you may notice, the room is a little bit red right now. And that's probably because outside, the sun is going down. And it's always really orangish around here whenever that happens. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But now, it's actually disappearing a little bit. So, yeah, it's also the light behind me kind of making it a little bit reddish in the room. So, yeah, just wanted to bring that up randomly. Don't know why. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about a few things today, guys. So, a lot of rumors have popped up, a lot of different ones. There's one that really is getting me intrigued, and that's the one I'm going to be covering today. It's really interesting, I'm going to be honest and say. So I thought we'd go through it, and we'd talk about it, we'd bring it up, we'd mention it, we'd break it down, the general stuff, you know how this works, because honestly, I think it's worthwhile. But first, we've got a few of those, like, text rumors, you know, in a row to go through, like, a few of them. I thought it'd be worthwhile to go through them and just kind of cover them real quick, because some of them suggest kind of, like, interesting theories and stuff like that. So, let's get started with one of the first ones here, which was this one, just sent to me by Sheely saying, guys, you could be right, and he's what we basically have. And this is like a Gamefreak, like he's trying to say Gamefreak schedule, how they're going to do stuff. And I've already gone through this. I've actually said this. And I think that's why Sheely also sent this my way, because I was one of the people who did say it like that, you know, this is kind of the pattern they might go for. So let's actually look through this. I'll give my opinions on it, and we'll break down the general subject line. And also, by the way, new camera, lads. I'm using the new one. I've got it charged up and shit from now on, so yeah. But here we go. So early May 2019, Sword Shield box art. Which, okay, so that in early May would make a lot of sense. And also, shout out to Aqua for this water. So early May makes a lot of sense, right? That's what I said, most likely. That's where things will kick off. April was a hit or miss month. It was anything was possible. May, there's always going to be stuff in May. So most likely May, this would be making a lot of sense to see, you know, Sword and Shield box art popping up around then. Summer 2019, new Pokemon, new mechanics. This makes sense. This is just not like one new Pokemon, but several new Pokemon, because we got E3, where we'll definitely see a new Pokemon trailer. We've got it's all the months after that, right? You got June, July, August, then even September, you know, you can count in there, with just a bunch of news and stuff, Coral leaks, trailers. I mean, remember how big the amount of, like, stuff we were shown when Let's Go was announced, right? And that barely had anything new to really show us, but there was still so many trailers coming out, and the same thing is going to happen with this, but even bigger, because there actually is stuff for them to show us, and actually enough content for them to, you know, shove our way, basically. So summer 2019, new Pokemon, new mechanics, makes sense. October 2019, remaining info, pre-release event, which would be making a lot of sense. They did do a pre-release event type thing going on in the US before Let's Go Beach, Let's Go Eevee. They did that sort of stuff, so that seems very reasonable and likely to happen. November 2019, data mined / release. Well, that makes sense. If the game comes out in like November, which we all assume it is, then it being data mined ahead of time just doesn't really surprise me if it does happen, because that will happen most likely. It's happened with the 3 past years of Pokemon games. Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, Let's Go Beach, Let's Go Eevee. All those 3 games have been data mined to infinity before their release, so that's going to definitely happen. Now, May 2020 announcement, Diamond and Pearl Remake. So, this is the thing, right? That's assuming we will get it, and that's why I think it's funny, because I'm going to actually do another video about a rumor that popped up about Diamond and Pearl remakes, which I think is worthwhile going through. But Diamond and Pearl next year would be great, though the likeliness at this point is a little bit 50-50. I think this is like where, I think I talked to Paul Ryan about this, who runs Pokeshopper, really big, you know, freaking website for merchandise. I just dropped that little cork. But here's the thing, though. When it comes down to it, when you think about these things, it's just that it's kind of hard to dissect right now. Either next year we will get Diamond and Pearl remakes, no game, or Let's Go Beach, Let's Go Johto, right? Or Let's Go Meryl and Togepi or whatever. That's like what's going to happen next year. One of those 2 options, right? That's one way or another. We're going for one of those 2, and I mean, bang, bang, boom. I mean, literally, that's how it's going to roll. So the big question is Diamond and Pearl going to be the game we're going to get next year? Which I think yes, and it's going to have the same graphics as Sword and Shield. It's going to have the same graphics, because that's what happened with X and Y, right? X and Y, then similar graphics came out for Oras the year after. And then we had a year with nothing, and then we went back to game releases. So I think next year we'll have Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then the year after that we may have nothing. Or they could do it so that we don't get anything next year, and then the year after we'll get another Pokemon game. Also, I gotta get this cork, man. Ah, shit, dude, I almost spilled my glass. Ah, yeet. There we go. Alright, got it, lads. I got the cork. Just gotta get some Aqua, lads. Ugh. Alright, I'm refreshed. Let's go into this. So, like I said, though, it would make sense, but it's also a little bit of a... It's a hit or miss thing, okay? It's a really hit or miss thing. You don't know until we get down to the, you know, the wire and we actually are there and we see enough hints towards it, that would make sense. But right now, who knows? November 2020 worldwide release. For, I guess, Diamond and Pearl Remix is what he's referring to. Spring 2021, unnamed third version announcement. That's interesting. So he isn't suggesting another Let's Go game. He's suggesting a third version for Sword and Shield, which would be interesting. I actually think that would be very possible. We never got that one for Pokemon Z, though, but we did get follow-up games for Sun and Moon with Ultra Sun and Moon. So anything's possible, but it also depends on how they want to roll with their, with their punches. They could go for it, but they could also be like, just releasing another Let's Go game, which are probably developing one right now, because there were over 10 million sales of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, which probably was pretty successful for them. So I would assume they will be making another one, most likely. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, I guess. It's really just a waiting game at this point. Not really much else we can do. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting, like, Game Freak's schedule, I guess, theory, I would say, rather than, like, actual leak. It's interesting. It's truly interesting. But yeah, so that's that one. Now, the next thing here, though, is a little bit more intriguing. So I think that this is interesting that your rival will be your twin brother/sister, which would be intriguing. So first things first, got fired from Game Freak last week, so I will leak some shit, which I think is unlikely. I think this guy's BSing, but it's still, like, it's something I have to bring up all the time that people kind of disregard. But, like, with rumors a lot of the time, right, look at them more as speculative than anything. Just look at them as kind of like a good way to kind of, like, imagine what we might be getting, or imagine where things might go potentially, right? Rather than actually being concrete info majority of the time. So, okay, let's continue. Now, your mother in the game is the Pokemon Proffesor. She gives you and your twin brother/sister a starter Pokemon. Now, that actually would be really intriguing if they went down with that kind of story, where the actual in-game mom would actually be the Proffesor. That would be kind of intriguing, actually. And also, your twin brother and sister having, being the rivals of yours, that would be intriguing as well, though I'm not sure how they would pull that off, and I'm not sure if Game Freak would want to go down that path, because, I don't know, they haven't really mixed things up that much in recent times. They haven't really messed around with anything else. Also, I just need to, like, fix this shit, dog. There we go. Alright, they haven't messed around with things a lot, like, in recent times. They've been just kind of keeping everything in a very steady line, not really messing around, not really taking detours, so who knows. Final evolutions are Fire Electric, Grass Psychic, and Water Ground. We've heard these before, nothing too special there. 79 new Pokemon and 22 new forms from old Pokemon. I've said it before, 79 just isn't enough to me. I need to see at least 90 to be okay with it, and 100 to be happy. Now, Flying Type Evolution, alright, that would actually be interesting to see, though I'm not sure if that would make so much sense, but oh well. No new types, which makes sense. I don't think we're going to be getting another typing. The only reason we got Fairy typing was because Dragon typing was broken, and they had to have something to counter it. So, yeah, just nothing too out of the ordinary there. Then, 2 evil teams. Now, we've heard this one before as well. We've heard, like, I can't remember what the names were, but we've had, like, suggestions for what the evil team could be, like, having 2 of them, rather, not 1, but having 2 different, evil teams and how that would be like. So we've heard that before, nothing too new. Battle Frontier and post-game, unlikely. I feel like the Battle Frontier is just being left behind and never going to be revisited. It's one of those features that people want, but they will never give us, so, Now, Cynthia appears in the game, which wouldn't be surprising. It would actually make a lot of sense. She has a lot of, like, connections to, I feel like she would make sense to have in a region like this, where mythology, similar to what, like, kind of Pokemon uses, makes sense. So, yeah. A mini-game before every gym, similar with the Island Trials, but focused in sports, which actually would be really cool and fun. I would love if there were little mini games before the gyms, and just something to be, just like extra fun things to do before you take on the gyms, rather than just being like, walk in there, battle people, done, you know what I mean? That's what gyms always made gyms more fun, was that, it was kind of a puzzle, it was kind of a puzzle trying to get to the gym leader at the end, inside the gym itself, and that actually made it a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. Then, Mega Evolutions and Z-Moves, or Z-Stones, are post-game, which doesn't seem surprising at all. No other regions, only Galar, makes sense. Quest system, which we talked about before, there was this one long rumor we talked about that brought up specifically a quest system and how that would work, and that one was, I mean, honestly, it made a lot of great points. I've got to be frankly honest. It made a lot of crazy good points, which I think, well, they pretty much established what I think about the whole quest system ID, having side quests and all that. I would love it. Now, old catching mechanics, but you can use the Pokemon Let's Go method to have better odds catching the Pokemon. That is false. There's no way they'd let us do that as well. I'm so not thinking that's going to happen. I don't think so, man. I'm sorry. I just don't think so. But yeah, I think this is one of those fake rumors, but I think the subject matter of, like, the first part that I mentioned here, your mother in the, is the Pokemon Professor and that, actually would be really cool of a concept to go down with in terms of story, whereas usually we just have, your in-game mother's just a random character, right? Whereas this way, they would have a lot more impact. They would have a lot more impact on your journey, and also the Pokemon they give you and how they interact with you and all that. That would actually be a lot more impactful, I would say. So yeah, now that's that. Now the final thing here is this right here. So this showed up on 4chan. this voluptuous lady showed up on 4chan, and basically people were saying like, oh, this is going to be the new Proffesor. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I can't really debunk this. Usually I'd be debunking this pretty easily. The art's really well made. Like, it actually is really, really well made. I've got to be frank. It looks really good. It's well drawn. The lines work is good. The coloring is good as well. The fingers, though, like, look a little bit weird somewhere around here, but even that, like, I've got to be honest, even that looks good. I'm gonna be frank. Like, even that looks good and not even that weird. So, I don't know, man. I don't really know if I can really say anything else. It actually looks perfect. It's just kind of perfection. But the question, though, is it real or not? I think it's more likely to be fake. But if it ends up being real, dude, I mean, this could be, like, this is literally, yeet, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But, like, hey, it's a cool-looking Proffesor. Be interesting to see how she works. She's got, like, a little weird item in her hand here if we zoom in a little bit. You see she's got an item in her hand right there, which looks a little bit like a Pokédex, I guess, somewhat, but it's like circular and all that, which I'm not sure what that's meant to be. It's kind of red and grayish and then black here, like a chart almost. That's kind of what it looks like. Looks almost like a chart, I would probably say. So yeah, overall though, cool character. Would work definitely as a Proffesor, I guess, would actually, in my opinion, work. But yeah, I'd love to know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? But yeah, that's going to be it, though. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you on the next one. Also, do check out our shirt designs, which are going to be linked down below as per usual. Hopefully soon I'll have the integration with Teespring, so you guys will be able to see them down below without me having to link them and all that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.